Everybody, what's up TikTok? What's going on YouTube? I don't know what it is with TikTok, but I have my AirPods in and I can freaking hear my echo. So TikTok, you're gonna have to let me know if it sounds ridiculous, if my audio is off. Otherwise, I'm gonna do the headphone thing. What's going on YouTube, Facebook? How we all doing? All right, I'm going to leave these headphones in until somebody in TikTok says your audio sounds like crap, and then I'll take them out. And I'm going to do my best to ignore the voice inside of my head. I'm already talking slower. I can tell I'm talking slower because of the echo from these headphones. Dang you, TikTok. See, I messed up that word. All right. I'm taking out the headphones. Sorry, TikTok. Hopefully you don't hear the fan from my computer, TikTok. And Mohammed, we will be doing Instagram here. What I'm doing right now is I'm doing live streams on YouTube and Facebook and then TikTok. And live streams with TikTok and Instagram have to be on a phone. So right now I'm doing TikTok. I don't have two phones. So I'm just giving Instagram a break for a little bit. But here in about a week, we should be both on TikTok and Instagram again. All right, what's going on, everybody? I'm Jason, full stack developer here at DevSlopes, and just rocking out, teaching people how to code, building cool projects, helping students land jobs. So lots of fun stuff here. What's going on, Mohammed, Ranch? Welcome. How we doing, TikTok? We've got Spencer TikTok here who's joined. A few other peeps, a little quiet, but it's okay. It's always fun to do these. What's going on, Larry, Harmon, Feldy, something? All these people are popping up way too fast. All right, anyways, what's going on, M&A, Amin? What's up, everybody? We're just going to talk about code, tech, freelance jobs. We can talk about mullets, skateboarding too, if you want. It's all good. But yeah, we're going to dive into tech. Coding's always fun. I love talking about programming, how to get started with it, different learning paths to take. Just because I'm a self-taught developer myself, I've been through the whole struggle. It sucks doing it on your own, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel. I ended up working at Dell Computers as a full stack engineer for several years, starting from self-taught, worked my way into Dell. And now I'm here at DevSlopes, able to share everything that I've learned doing the self-taught road and helping other students learn how to code and be successful. All right, I'm going to start with some questions here from TikTok, and then YouTube, I'll jump over here. Let's see. I swam 60 laps in my Olympic-sized pool today. That's awesome. Good job, Sadie, the snore dog. Good job swimming laps. That's awesome. I should probably swim some laps. I've been doing a lot of sitting with all the coding I've been doing. So good for you. Getting some physical exercise in. Fantastic. All right. Let's see what we have here on YouTube. M&A asks, hey, do you have any free resources to learn software development and get to freelance? So here's what's really cool. M&A, yes, we have some free tutorials on YouTube, so you can go check those out. We've got a free course. If you go to, I think it's devslopes.com/free-course. We've got a free iOS, Android, and web course, just a small little mini course to kind of give you a taste of DevSlopes. If you're serious about making money and doing freelance work, we have the DevSlopes Academy, and we teach you everything that you need to know about programming to be successful freelancing and to be successful getting a job. And we work with you until you get paid, like until you land freelance work or get a job. All right, that's when we work with you. We teach you the skills. We do all the career coaching. We help strategize your resume, your LinkedIn, how to negotiate salaries, working with recruiters, the entire interview process. If you bomb one of the interviews, come back, talk to us. We work with you, prep you for the next interview and the next and the next and the next and the next. However long it takes for you to land that job and start getting paid. We take you A to Z. So if you want that, if you'd like some extra structure and guidance and want to take the fast track, go to devslopes.com/apply. All right, you'll get set up with a free career coaching call. And, I'm the web instructor. I would love to personally work with you and help you, learn to code and be successful with it. Let's see, what's up, Mohammed? Have you ever been through hard times thinking to stop coding? Absolutely. Mohammed, yes, story of my life. So I had a background in 10 years of sales. All right, I trained sales teams. I traveled along the West Coast and everything, opening up locations, doing sales trainings. I was a regional sales manager. All right, and so I was in sales for a long time, and then I decided I can't do it anymore. All right, I had a family. I wanted to spend time with my family, my kids. Sales was taking me away on the weekends and the holidays, and I couldn't live like that anymore. Always had an interest in programming, so I got into programming and self-taught developer. And it was hard doing it on my own, and it sucked. And I questioned myself all the time because I didn't have any mentor or coach or somebody to ask questions to. I questioned myself all the time. Did I make the wrong decision? But I knew I enjoyed programming, and I knew that programming paid well. And I knew a couple of people who had become programmers. I didn't really talk to them, but I kind of saw their lifestyle, and they seemed like they had a pretty flexible lifestyle. So I kept at it. I kept pursuing coding. I kept practicing and building projects until eventually I was hired. And long story short, I'm super grateful I never gave up coding, even though it was hard and it sucked and I wanted to quit, because it's completely changed my life. I can live anywhere in the world that I want because I can work remotely. All I need is my laptop. Right now, I'm buying a house out in the country, get away from the craziness and just get some peace and quiet. It's financially changed my life. I have more time and flexibility and financial freedom than I've ever had before, all because of programming. So super grateful I didn't give up. All right, so I know what it's like to get discouraged coding. If you want some extra guidance and direction, Mohammed, I would be honored to work with you. Go to devslopes.com/apply. Check out the DevSlopes Academy. I will personally work with you, teach you how to code. I'll review your code. We have weekly live meetups. We talk code, freelance, tech, jobs, all that fun stuff. And I will work with you until you get paid as a developer. All right. Let's see. Prince asks, what do you think about Flutter? I like Flutter a lot. Now, I haven't built anything in production like that's gone to production in Flutter, but I've built some smaller projects just to kind of get familiar with the technology. And I really liked it. I thought the syntax was really nice. The whole concept of building out your project, working in widgets. I thought it was a lot of fun. Lob Z, career path for a front-end developer. Now, I'm going to assume maybe you're talking web development. Are you talking about web, iOS, Android? What type of a front-end developer? I'll wait for a moment if you want to be a little bit more specific on that question, and then I'll come back around to it. What's up, Goblin John? Hey, Jason, happy Tuesday. It is a happy Tuesday. No complaints. Every day is a good day. Ranch asks, when you work on a website in Angular, do you work with it together with JavaScript, or do you only work with Angular? So Angular uses TypeScript. It's a superset of JavaScript. So there is a lot steeper learning curve there. But yeah, so you're going to be building in Angular and using TypeScript to build your website. So both of them are used together. Now, there is a lot of Angular-specific syntax. And when you're building this out, you're going to find yourself having to Google everything. Whereas, if you know JavaScript, and for an example, you dive into a UI library like React, it uses JavaScript in a way that you're already familiar with. And the syntax is just, a little bit of a new syntax that you have to pick up, but it's fairly easy to do. Angular, on the other hand, there is so many Angular specific syntax and naming conventions and the way that you should architect your project. You'll find yourself doing so much Googling. Like every tiny little thing that you want to do, you're going to have to Google it because Angular does it differently than, React or regular JavaScript would. All right, Lobzy, looking for web development. So the best path for a career in front-end web development is do HTML, CSS for 3 to 4 weeks. All right. Next, you're going to dive into JavaScript. You'll probably spend anywhere from 6 to 9 months in this. It really depends. I know some people who have spent less time in it because their brain's just wired, the dots connect super fast for them. But the point is you want to become proficient in JavaScript and be able to write code that actually does something like useful. And so you'll spend 6 to 9 months learning JavaScript and then also, intertwining that into your HTML so you can build these interactive websites and whatnot. And then after you've done that, you're going to choose a front-end technology like React or Vue. All right. And then after you've done that for maybe a month or two, actually more than a month, for about 2 months, then you need to start thinking full stack. All right. Now, I know that you're talking about a front-end developer, but the reality is front-end developers need a working knowledge of the back end. All right. Because you will be expected at a job to be able to work with APIs and plug data into the UI. So you've got to know how to work with that. So after you've, learned and become proficient in one of these front-end technologies like React or Vue, I always recommend, going down the React road. There's a lot more job opportunities in that sense. And then pick up like Node.js for the backend. And the cool thing with that is it allows you to write JavaScript on the server. So you don't have to go and learn some new backend language like Python or, PHP or something. Just do it in Node, and then you'll package that with Express and like MongoDB for the backend. Build a CRUD application, which is a full stack app. All right, that's create, read, update, and delete. And once you can build a CRUD application, not a crappy application, a CRUD application, then you're ready to start down that career path. All right, that is the quickest way. All right, what's up, TikTok? I'm going to get a couple of questions from you. What's going on? Let's see. Warren, you're asking what would be the best first project? It really depends on what you're building. What tech stack are you working with? JPPP1, do you guys teach Node? Yes, we do. So in our Web Development Academy, it's HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and then ES6. And then we dive like hardcore into React, working with Node, MongoDB, working with APIs, building APIs. So it's full stack development. So we do, it's really the MERN stack, Mongo Express, React, and Node. And I will work with you personally. Weekly live meetups. I will review your code. I will tell you, whether it's on track. I'll, make sure that you're doing best practices and that you're writing good code. And then I'll work with you until you get paid, until you're landing freelance projects, or until you get a job. I will personally do that. All right, let's see. Andre, where is he reading the questions from? So Andre, I'm live streaming on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok. So I've got a camera here and a camera here. I've got 2 of them. Or I might be crazy and seeing these questions in my head, right? No, just kidding. Let's see, again, asked, do you teach Node.js? Yes, we do. Is age discrimination an issue in tech, trying to get in tech in mid-30s? Hey, no, not at all. So I got it into, so I'm a self-taught developer. This is by USFMRX. I'm a self-taught developer. I got into programming, I think, just a little after my mid-20s. And when I got picked up by Dell, let's see, how old was I? I think I was 29 or 30. And we've got people in our academies from that range from ages. I think we've had one person that was like 14 or 15, but then all the way up to 55. All right, and this gentleman who was 55, he was in our iOS Academy learning iPhone development, and he already landed a job. So at the end of the day, what I've recognized is employers just want somebody who can write code. That's it. And, they just want somebody who can write code. So my dad, I think he's over 60 or whatnot, but he's a Java developer and, still employed. They're not letting him go anytime soon because he's really good at what he does. And so there is not enough developers for the developer positions that are open. And so in my experience, I haven't seen any discrimination against age because companies are hungry for people who can code. Andre asks, should I move from senior DevOps engineer to full stack developer? If you want to, anytime it comes down to, software development or a tech career path, you should do something that you really, really enjoy. All right. So for an example, when I first was learning to code, I wanted to be hands down an iOS engineer. I wanted to build iPhone apps because I thought, that's a cool thing to do, right? So I dabbled in some iOS. I liked it. It was cool. And then I dabbled in some web development, and I fell in love with web development. There was just something about web development that just struck me. Now, with that being said, web developers of iOS, Android, and web developers make the least, all right? Usually, all right? My brother, self-taught developer, he's an iOS engineer. Excuse me. He's an iOS engineer. He makes $20,000 a year more than I do, and he's been developing for a year less than me. But I'm super happy what I do. All right. So it's not always about the money, and I make killer money too. So no complaints. Thanks. Is Gulp still worth learning? JPPP1 asks. So it just depends. Like, what do you want to do with your programming skills? Is Gulp taking you in the direction of what you want to do with programming, or do you want to build like mobile apps, web apps? Like, what do you want to do? That should determine the technologies that you're learning. All right, I'm going to hop over here to YouTube, get some questions here. RA1 Games, do you know any vanilla JavaScript course online? What do you recommend? So there's a lot of free tutorials to learn, JavaScript and everything. There's YouTube. There's probably some websites that will teach you some of the basics. The most important thing is you've got to make sure you get out of tutorials once you get the basics down, because tutorials aren't going to think or teach you to problem solve. And the whole purpose of JavaScript is it gives you a set of tools to solve problems and come up with solutions. So you learn all the basics and kind of how to use these different tools, right? But then you've got to start diving into projects, all right? Tutorials will not teach you how to think like a developer. It's not going to teach you how to Google how to solve problems, all right? So you can do all that stuff, some free stuff online. If you want like the expedited route to learning, you can always check out the DevSlopes Academy. I'm the web instructor, so I teach HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React, full stack with Mongo and Node, Express, all that fun stuff. So go to devslopes.com/apply. And if you need some more structure and guidance, I'd be happy to work with you personally and work with you until you get paid. Let's see, Damien, I would like to learn JavaScript. Where do you think it's a good place to start? So Damien, there's free places, like free tutorials, obviously on YouTube. Oh, one thing that you could check out is DevSlopes has this 30-day code challenge. All right, go to 30daycodechallenge.com, and we've got a JavaScript code challenge, and we will teach you all the basics through some advanced concepts of JavaScript. So every day you'll have a list of video tutorials, all right, to teach you some concepts, and then you get this code challenge at the end of the day, all right? And it's a 30-day code challenge, so every single day you'll get a brand new challenge and new content to watch and to learn. Here, let me post that in the chat. One moment. Uno momento. Oh, crap. My phone's sitting on my keyboard. For TikTok. It's covering up like half the junk there. So anyways, 30daycodechallenge.com. And we've got these code challenges for Swift and for iOS. I mean, Swift and JavaScript. All right, G asks, how about freelance and part-time? Are you talking about how to get freelance and part-time work? I'm not sure. Can you be a little bit more specific with your question? Let's see. How do I know when I've learned enough JavaScript to move on? So that's a fantastic question. That's a really good question. I get this question a lot. So what you should do is learn the basics in some tutorials, okay? Do some tutorials, get the basics down. What's really going to teach you is building projects, all right? Learn the basics of JavaScript, ditch the tutorials, Google, cool JavaScript projects to build for beginners or whatnot, get some project ideas, and then start coding it from scratch, and then use the internet to look up answers, but do not Google a tutorial for the project you're building. Google the different challenges that come along while you're building the project, and Google those to figure out solutions. All right. What kind of things did you work on at Dell? So I was building a sales tool. So Dell, sells a lot of servers, and they work with large companies like, I'm just going to throw out like large companies like Walmart. I don't remember if one of their clients is Walmart, but large clients like that, and then also smaller businesses and individuals. But anyways, they sell loads of servers, thousands and thousands of servers, server space, and stuff like that. So the tool that we were building, it was being done with Mongo Express, React, and Node. So we were doing the MERN stack, and it was a proposal. It would put together proposals. So it was kind of like this. It wasn't AI, but it gave recommendations and solutions. So you would take an inventory of what the client's current servers are and what their costs are. And then it would build this proposal of the new recommended servers, how much money it would save them, the power cost, all this other stuff. It was a really cool sales tool, because normally when somebody puts together a proposal or a bid for a client at Dell, like a sales guide to put together a proposal for a client, it could take them up to a week. But this software that we were building allows the salesperson to put together these proposals, and it prints out a PDF at the end within a matter of minutes. So it goes down from a week time proposal sales process down to a couple of minutes. So it was a really cool piece of software. All right, let's see. Daniel, is there still a lack of software developers out there? Is there still a real need? Absolutely. There is, I think, around 3 developer positions, or for every 1 developer position. Let's see, how am I trying to word this? Holy crap. Anyways, yes, there is loads of opportunity. There is not enough developers to fill the positions. That's my point. Sorry, mind went blank there for a little bit. I've been coding all morning, brain's a little bit fried, and I haven't had caffeine yet, so. Sarabhav, let's see. I'm learning the MERN stack development, but how would I know it's time to start freelancing? That's a fantastic question. So you're doing the MERN stack, okay? Ask yourself the question, can you build a CRUD application? All right, that's something that creates, read, updates, and can delete records from a database. If you can build a CRUD application from start to finish without tutorials, then you're ready to start freelancing. And I say that because the most important thing is, remember, you're going to be getting a freelance project that is probably its own unique piece of software. There's probably not going to be a tutorial online how to build it. So you need to know how to solve problems, how to Google, and come up with solutions. Pedro, I'm in the DevSlopes Web Academy and Remote Freelance Academy and still lost. Oh, you're in the DevSlopes Web Academy. That's awesome. Well, Pedro, if you have questions, reach out. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. Let's see. You also mentioned in my area, for every developer job posted, on average, there's 50 people applying. I've seen up to 150 people apply per job post. So sure, there's a lot of developers that, can apply for the jobs, but in the grand scheme of things, and Pedro, you're right, this is going to vary based on location, city, things like that. But overall, there is not enough developers to fill the positions. Let's see. All right, TikTok. I'm going to hop over here in just a little bit. Okay, I can see some questions. So everybody in TikTok, stick around. I will get to them. All right, give me about a minute here. Let's see. Nair, I don't know how to pronounce this. I apologize. I'm just going to call you Naren. How to get a front end job. So again, ask yourself, can you build a CRUD end or a CRUD application, which is a full stack application? And then you can go on places like, let's see, you said you were in India. So I would do something like Upwork, or what's that other one called? Fervor, if that's how you pronounce it. I've never used it before, so I don't know how to pronounce it. But yeah, do Upwork or Fervor, and you can start, networking with people and putting out proposals and bids for people. Daniel, I'm finishing college this year, but I feel like it's not helping me very much. I've learned a little bit, but not focusing on anything. Daniel, you know what? I can't tell you how many people in the DevSlopes Academy have a computer science degree, and after finishing up a bachelor's in computer science are still lost, right? My oldest brother went 4 years computer science degree, all right? And it took him a long time to get a job because he came out. College doesn't teach you the skills that you need to actually be successful in the job market. I'm talking things as basic as Git, version control, NPM, like node packages, NPM libraries, things like that. Like those are the super basic things. And then they take these crazy long breaks between teaching you these coding topics. And that's not how you learn. You have to have your hands on a keyboard writing code 5 days a week for a couple of hours. That's the best way to become successful with it. I also have a friend who did $75,000 for a bachelor in computer science degree. He left, he had his bachelor's and he felt more lost than anything. He's like, I don't even feel like I could code like a tic-tac-toe app, like little program on my own. Like he just knew nothing. And so he actually joined the DevSlopes Academy. He's in our iOS Academy. And he says he's learned more about programming in 1 month than he did in his 4 years in college. And the DevSlopes Academy is a fraction of what he paid for his college. And now he's in debt. All right. What's up, TikTok? We're going to wrap up here pretty soon, but I do want to get to your questions. McNeiliad asks, where do you see software development going in the future? It's only going to go up. There's only going to be an increased need for software development. This whole, COVID crap has forced us into an online technology age, like 100%. Unfortunately, there were so many of these mom and pop shops, brick and mortar stores that shut down. There has been this massive rush to online, which has also caused this huge surge and need for software developers. Okay, we are in a tech industry. All right, everything's digital. So huge future in software engineering, programming. Let's see, can you compare the mobile dev job market to the web dev market? Is mobile really worth it? Mobile is worth it. So my brother's a mobile app developer. He's an iOS developer. Mobile developers traditionally with like iOS and Android, they do in most cases make more than web development. I would say the web development market is more saturated, and I don't want to call it saturated, like in a sense that there's no opportunity. There's so much opportunity as web developers, but it is there are more web developers in kind of these niche markets like mobile. Now, if you're looking to get a job, look up in your area like the type of mobile app development jobs that are available. Like if you're wanting to go into a company, the great news is a lot of companies are hiring remotely, but there is still, a growing need for app developers. Yeah, it's worth it. I mean, my brother's an iOS developer, has been coding a year less than me and makes $20,000 more. He's happy what he's doing. I'm happy with what I'm doing. Yazar asks, how much is your boot camp? So we have tons of different pricing options, whether you want to do financing, paying, all of it upfront and whatnot. Just go to devslopes.com/apply, set up a call with our one of our career coaches, and they will go over all the pricing options for you, but you can plan on about the price of a semester of college. All right. But tons of different and flexible payment options, however you want to do that. And again, we work with you until you get paid. You don't just like come into the boot camp and then we just kind of leave you out there to hang and dry, right? Like you come in here, it's very engaging. It's absolutely hands-on, and we will teach you how to code. We take you through the career coaching, how to negotiate salaries, work with recruiters, the interview process, and flat out like until you get paid, that's when, we've fulfilled our job. All right. And I personally work with students every day doing this. I teach them how to code. I review their code and I help them get jobs. So all fun stuff. All right. We're going to wrap this up here. I'm just going to take a few more questions from YouTube. Let's see, is Django or .NET framework better to learn for freelancing nowadays? You know what? I have no idea. I don't know. I've never actually worked with it in those frameworks before, and I've never looked into freelancing with those frameworks before. Now, when you're freelancing, right, there's specific needs and problems that you're solving with programming. So you just really have to ask yourself the question, does Django or .NET, is that going to accomplish the type of programming and projects that you want to take on? Let's see, Exutusuk. Hello, I just joined. Any thoughts on Flutter? Sorry if you've talked about it already. Hey, no worries. Flutter is awesome. It's an incredibly super fun programming language to do. It's fantastic for cross-platform apps. There is a rising trend using, Flutter. I see it more so in, startups. It's also a fantastic technology to use for freelancing. A lot of fun, and it's super easy to get up and running with. Let's see, does DevSlopes Academy take you from my current level or start over? So Mohammed, the Academy starts at complete beginner. If you've never seen a line of code in your life, that's where it starts. Now, if you have some experience in programming and kind of need to start later because it's broken into different modules, rather than going through and watching all of the videos and stuff, we have some students that have some experience under their belt. So at the end of each module, there is a final project and a quiz. So just knock out the quiz. I do recommend to do the final project because it's a really good refresher, to recap on some of those skills. But yeah, you can just pound through the quizzes until you get to the week that's kind of at your current skill set. Let's see, Pedro, no-code marketing agencies, still a lot the entry level for web developers. I'm not sure how to answer that. Is there printable PDFs about Flutter, Firebase, and Dart? Absolutely. You can find that anywhere on the web. There's, free tutorials. I always recommend just going to the docs. Just go to the docs. Skander Yazao asks, I'm a self-taught person. How can I land my first job as a web developer? So Skander, I'm a self-taught developer as well. All right. I went from self-taught and I ended up working at Dell Computers as a full stack engineer for several years. So one of the things, because as a self-taught developer, it kind of is hard to get that ball rolling. But the best advice that I can give you is once you're able to start building some projects, take on freelance work. That's going to add loads of credibility to yourself in the eyes of an employer. All right. When an employer looks and sees your portfolio and they see that somebody has paid you for your skills and you have delivered, all right, that adds loads of credibility to you. When I first started, I started applying for, projects or jobs after 12 weeks of learning to code. And I actually did land a contract project after, a total of 13 weeks of coding under my belt. But once I landed my job, I think it was 10 months in, and it was paid projects, freelance projects that really, did it for me. That's when recruiters and, employers really started working with me because they saw that I had real world experience. All right. Okay, Yaz, last question. I'll answer your question here from TikTok. I hope you're still on here because I'm going to answer your question, Yazar 007. How much can you make with 1 year experience realistically? So Yazar, my very, very, very first job employed as a developer, W-2, paid out $78,000 a year. That was with, I did some freelance projects, all right? But my very first paid job as a web developer paid out $78,000 a year. Now, to follow up on that, if you have been coding professionally, meaning you've been working in the job field, 3 years experience in the job field, it's very, very common to be making $100,000 or more as a software developer, even a web developer. All right. So if you have 3 years professional experience as a developer, if you're not making $100,000 a year, all right, you should renegotiate your salary or find someone else for employment because somebody is going to pay you that. All right, what do we have here? Let's see. All right, looks like that's it. That's all the questions. All right, 2 more questions. Golly, you guys, I could talk forever. All right, swing the hawk or something. I work with an IT company wasting many hours with vendors. Any advice A+ for devs? I'm not sure exactly how to answer that question. Also, I've worked with Python and Flutter, but do not full-time program. So Swinghawk, you should pick a programming language or at least decide what you want to do with coding. And then that should determine the tech stack that you learn. All right. Let's see. Hello, this is Jack. What platform did you use to get your initial freelance gigs? So Pri, that's a great question. Me personally, I didn't. So I started freelancing. This was like 5 years ago. I didn't know about things like Upwork or Fiverr or any of that stuff. I did it all in person. That's how I did it. And I'd reach out to people on LinkedIn. So I have a background in 10 years in sales. All right. Training sales teams, working with CEOs and business owners and all that, jazz, junk, whatever. And so for me, what I did is I went to networking events. So where CEOs gathered, where entrepreneurs, business owners, people like that, I went to those type of networking events and I talked to, people there. And that's how I got my projects. One of the projects I landed as a freelancer paid out $100,000 over the course of 10 months. All right. Most of the projects I did were small little websites, but I did land a big fish, paid out $100K over 10 months. It was awesome. All right. Anyways, everybody, thank you for hopping on. I'll be here again, same time tomorrow. I'm Jason with devslopes.com. If you would like some guidance or more structure learning to code, I would be honored to work with you. Go to devslopes.com/apply, and you can get a free call with our career coaching organizer. And if you want to participate in any coding challenges, go to 30daycodechallenge.com. And we've got the coding challenges set up for JavaScript and Swift. All right, that's it, everybody. Have a great one.